Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, Double D, and today I'm going to do a little bit something different. Just because I guess by the end of the video, maybe you'll understand. I I recently moved to Florida, and my dad's also moving, so I have more pictures than I know what to do with. And Jimmy from Jimmy's Chicken Shack. I'm going to talk a lot about my old band, Jimmy's Chicken Shack, and old days. So if you are here for gear, that's not really what I am going to talk about. Although I am going to talk about a particular guitar that was played by that guy. Maybe you recognize him. His name was Slash. I'll get to that part because, yesterday I was texting with a lifelong buddy. His name's Rob. He's always in the comments. Thank you, Byron, for always being there. I call him Byron. His real name's Rob. Anyway, long story short, thank you, dude. I've known him my entire life, and he kind of spurred something in me that made me want to talk about this a little bit. And he sent me a meme with Willie Nelson, and I said, yeah, I got to smoke a doobie with him at one of his shows backstage. He had invited us to sit at the front row of his concert, and it was just one of those unbelievable moments in my life. I don't tell a lot of people stories about those kind of times. There's so many stories that I have. And him telling me that kind of reminded me that just a week before at one of my open guitar sessions, a lady said to me, "You probably have a lot of stories to tell." And I was like, "Yeah, I really do, I think." And him kind of saying all of this within our text exchange, it just kind of got me to the point of thinking, yeah, I want to share that Slash story, but I kind of want to backtrack a little bit through the past couple of decades. So when I left Jimmy's Chicken Shack 2001, it was tough. It was not something I wanted to do. I watched them for 4 or 5 years. They were my favorite local band. And I got invited to be in that band once the Pushing the Salmonella Envelope album released. Even though I didn't play in it, I did all the touring for it. I kind of had to pretend to be Jim McD at certain radio stations, which was really wild. But enough about that. I went through a number of incredible experiences during that time, just within the first like 7 or 8 months of 1997, all the way to the end of that year, leading to when we ended up in Cabo San Lucas and played the Cabo Wabo Club. I left the band in 2001. I guitar teched for John Oates for about a year or so, then ended up meeting my wife. Everything kind of just kept bringing me home. She's now my ex-wife, but everything is great. We have 2 amazing children. I have absolutely no regrets with anything I've ever done with my life because simply of those 2 precious souls. And they, thank you, girls. You girls are amazing. I can't even thank them enough for being who they are. Anyway, I don't even know if I'll leave that part in. Maybe I will. 2011 or so, I jump into the Kelly Bell Band, and I'm having a blast playing the blues. I always loved the blues. I always kind of brought a rock element to it, and it was part of who I was, and I really enjoyed playing with Kelly Bell. One day on a Navy aircraft carrier, we had been doing a week-long run, doing, a series of shows on this aircraft carrier. I almost died. I was about an hour away, the doctor told Kelly. And bless your heart, Kelly, for staying with me that day in San Diego. Whoa, that was something. Anyway, survived all that, got through all of that, had almost died. They managed to get me home a couple of days later, and everything kind of changed for me from then on out. I've been, conscious of my health, but I do gig from time to time. And in fact, from time to time, I would fill in for Island Styles in Jimmy's Chicken Shack. He's one of the guys that now plays guitar with Jimmy, and he also plays with Candlebox from time to time, and so he can't always do the Chicken Shack shows when he was out with them. So he would call me to do some shows. One day at one of their shows, I'm just about to go on stage. Hi, Luke. I'm just about to go on stage, and this lady's standing there kind of like looking at me, and she's just shaking her head, and she's kind of like giving this look, and I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" And she's like, "This is Jimmy's Chicken Shack, right?" And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, "One of them died." And I was like, "What? No, everybody in the band is alive. No, I'm not too sure what you're talking about." And she just kind of sat there and looked like this at me. And I was like, that's kind of strange. And then a minute later, after she walked away, I realized, hey, she's talking about me. Hey, I'm not dead yet.
Dead! Yeah, he says he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
I'm not.
I still have a Slash story to tell. So I'm getting to that, all right? I'm getting to it. Anyway, so I am alive and I'm doing well. I actually have just recently been diagnosed with skin cancer. And I'm going to be having a surgery tomorrow as of me filming this. I don't know when this will get released, probably just after. I'm going to just pop it up there and put some pictures on it because I got a lot of fun pictures. There's me at Conan, at the Conan show. There's Red Rocks, and it's just bringing me back all these memories. And so it just, you know how it is. And you know how it is when you're told you have something weird. So I'm at that stage where I have squamous cell carcinoma, and they're going to cut out a big chunk of my chest. So I'm not really going to be able to sit here and play guitar for a little while. But I figured, hey, maybe I'll get you guys used to the stories. If stories are a good thing, then I'll tell a couple more over my recovery time, and I'll keep you guys posted on the updates. But I'm gonna be fine. Nothing has killed me yet, and I'm still here. And God willing, I'm gonna tell you more stories like this one with Slash. It was, I guess, December 1997, and we were slated to go to Cabo San Lucas to play Sammy Hagar's Cabo Wabo Club. At the time, it was, I guess, Sammy and Eddie's, I think, but Sammy was really known for it. And we get there, we have to take like a Jeep with an open trailer, just like a gardening trailer, with our guitars and our amps, and everything else was backlined. We didn't have cabinets, we didn't have drum kit, we didn't have a bass rig. Foreshadowing. And we just bumping across the desert from the airport to Cabo. And then we get to this just incredible location. And Jimmy and I were like, let's put down our bags and just go explore. Let's get checked in and go. And so literally within 45 minutes of checking into the hotel, we found an ounce of Mexican's finest brown weed. And we bought as much as we could and took it back because we knew we had a bunch of dudes for a couple of days in Mexico. And so we were, going to have a good time. The end of the night, I remember just hanging out and being like, this is amazing. We're going to play Cabo Wabo. I remember as a kid learning the Cabo Wabo song, and it was just like one of those moments in the 90s, and we get to the club and we're bringing in our stuff, and suddenly the crew's kind of buzzing around with supposed phone calls from Slash, and that he likes to come into town, and when he does, he comes to the venue. And a couple of the crew guys are like, hey, when Slash comes around, he likes to jam with the band, so y'all need to be ready. So we're like, oh, dude, that would be killer. Okay, so we're flash forward, we're playing our show. I think it's Mighty Joe Plum opens for us, and then we're playing, and we're playing, and the drum set is just falling apart. Every song, there's a problem with the drum set. It's just falling off. It's just a disaster. The bass rig is going down. So we have one guitar tech with us, Dietram. Shout out Dietram, what's up? And one audio guy with us, Jamo, what's up, dude? And it was me and Jimmy Haha and Jay on bass and Jim Chaney on drums at this point. And it's like a disaster. It's like we're playing and we're just it's just one of those nights where we're going, oh my God, this is totally not what I thought this was going to be like. And in the balcony area, you could see a dude with the backward hat and a lot of hair. And it was clearly Slash. And so he's watching us just fall apart. And Jimmy takes that moment to say, let's just have Slash come up. Slash, come on up. And you could see Slash's head just like, he's watching this train wreck happen. There's no way he's going to jump on board and try to save it. What's he going to sit there at the caboose and go, yeah, just turn left, guys. No. But Jimmy, being who he is, he managed to convince him to, from the stage, get him all the way up on stage. So that gave our tech time to get the drums going and everything. And Jimmy says to me, hey, give him your guitar. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, no, it's all right. I'm going to start off and then we'll do something. And then I'll give you my guitar. But let him do some stuff before you go up. So this is my PRS EG3 that Slash played. I thought Jimmy would kind of put together that Slash was a Les Paul player, was used to two humbuckers. This has two humbuckers, but it's still just, Strat styles switching. It's not a Silver Sky. I always figured this was something like a precursor to the Silver Sky. I've modified it. It's got split coil and it's got the super switch so that I can always throw in the neck humbucker, and I can always split it too, which is a lot of fun. I just absolutely love this guitar. This was my very first PRS, and it was the first PRS that they gave me. I'll have this for the rest of my life. I couldn't tell you a single note that we played that night. I think we played in B minor from the couple of pictures that I can see. It looks like we're in that range somewhere. And yeah, I think I had black fingernail polish on at that point. The 90s were a weird time, right? Okay, so I was born in 70 and learned to play guitar in the 80s, and Slash was just one of those dudes back then. And in the 90s, he was still one of the few 80s guitar players that was well known and still had a really good reputation. I mean, he was very well known. And then by the late 90s and into 2000s, even more, I mean, he's just synonymous with rock and roll. And to have been able to jam with him on stage was just amazing. And he decides to come and hang out with us. He's hanging out backstage, and we tell him, hey, we got a cabana over at this hotel. And sure enough, he shows up, later on in the evening. I want to say like midnight-ish or so. He shows up, he had divorced from his first wife, Renee, I think. And this was when he was dating Perla, but wasn't married to her. And so we all were hanging out, and Jimmy used to carry around this Yamaha. I actually have the exact same Yamaha. We would take him to radio stations and do acoustic performances. And Jimmy busted out the Yamaha. He would always have people sign it. He had Slash sign it. I actually had Slash sign my insurance card. I think that upset him. I hope not. God, Slash, if I offended you that night, I really didn't mean to. It was all I had. We were traveling, and I really wanted your autograph. But Jimmy busts out his acoustic, and he just starts playing some stuff, and he's playing things for Slash and trading off some ideas and things, and we're passing the guitar back and forth, and Jimmy starts playing one of his ballads, and at this point, it was still pretty new. It was called 30 Days, and it's one of my all-time favorite Chicken Shack songs. It's hard for me to listen to. It really, honestly, is because of the emotions that I remember us going through. We were both breaking up with girls that we really cared about, and this song just encapsulated that. And at the end of Jimmy playing it, just singing and playing it, his, kind of first real times it's formulating as to what it was, he gets done playing, and we look over, and Slash is kind of like wiping his eye, and he's like, man, I'm sorry, excuse me. He's like, man, that was good, man. And he wipes his other eye, and we all kind of got a little bit quiet, and Jimmy looks sort of like right over at me, and he goes, I think I made Slash cry. And we all were like, oh my gosh, and we knew that was a good song. We got so screwed by our record label. The people that we signed with, they believed in the band. And by the time we got to the second record and then the second release time, that label had changed hands. The staff, it had changed staff so many times. Even though Elton John himself was the man about the label, it was managed by other people, and it just was rotating. And that eventual staff didn't really understand our band by that point. I really wanted Lazy Boy Dash to be released. I thought that song was fantastic, and it encapsulated a lot of what we were all about. But I could go on. I'm going to stop just because I could tell a million stories. I've already been talking for probably far too long. But anyways, you guys, thank you really for being here at the channel. It does mean a lot. Please subscribe, hit the like button. If you want more stories, just please leave me a comment. Let me know. All right. I'll see you really soon. All right. Not dead yet.
I feel happy. Thanks very much. That's all.